And welcome to the Nexus. Shalom, shalom. We get the slate up off here. Hi. How you doing? Welcome back to the Nexus, a weekly informal but serious discussion of the Torah and the Bible and anything you would like to discuss. Because there's a link over here. It's got a StreamYard link that allows you to come in and join the conversation. So if there's a question, comment, compliment, complaint, suggestion that you'd like to ask, please feel free. We're live on Rumble. Thank you very much, Rumble, for all the reception we've gotten over there. Also on X and YouTube. If you want to see past shows like this and kind of what it was in its heyday, go back and check out some of the Noahide Nexus and Orphans of Abraham videos are up there. They've been doing this for about 9-10 years now. And you'll see in the discussion there's a link to this week's Torah Portion, which is the section of the Torah which is read every week. I'm James the Idol Smasher, a Ger ben Noach, and my fellow Ger ben Noach next to me right here is Rosalie. And how you doing?
Hello.
How you doing, madam?
Hi. Good. Hi. How are you?
I'm doing okay. I'm feeling better than I look on camera, which is kind of washed out. I can't get the color fixed on this thing. I'm still trying to figure out the settings, but
that's okay. You're Scotch Irish. You're supposed to be white.
Well, I'm Kansan, so you're a little bit more sun.
Yeah, whatever.
So we get this week's Torah portion here, which is like the receipt of the Mishkan. You know, if you get a receipt and you want to know where everything went and every bit of amount of metal and cloth and skin and everything that was used in making the Mishkan, which was like basically the portable temple that the Israelites would set up every time the angel that led them would stop. They would camp out. And
hey, John,
so it's kind of
what's up, homie?
What's happening, John? Oh, man, good to see you.
I was just living, loving life, just rocking and rolling. How's everything?
Oh, about same here. Working, sleeping, spending money.
Yep.
Yeah, the usual. Let me see. Let me get things set up here. So, yeah, how you doing? What have you been up to?
Nothing much. Just living day by day, doing what I got to do to survive and rocking and rolling, kicking ass and taking names. So what's going on? What's the big thing? Is there a holiday? Or what Parsha are we on? What are we up to? What's going on?
We are in Pekutei. It's the time when we get an accounting of all the silver, all the copper, all the gold, all the linen or strings, all the colors, all the skins, and it was like how much was used to make the Mishkan. Basically, it's a good chunk of it, a good portion of it. Last week they started putting the thing together. All the Israelites actually started building it and setting it up and where it's set and how it's set. It was the first day of the first month, I believe, is when and there you go. That's pretty much it. It's Mishkan City this week. And the Torah also wanted it turns out I hear that the United States is building a port in Gaza to help aid get there. So I guess dropping boxes of it onto people isn't helping anything. So they just might hand it to them this time. And that's been a mess too. They nailed a guy also who was taking aid from the Gazan population and giving it to their army or giving it to the terrorist or whatever. So that was a crazy revelation there. I was surprised. And let's say basically an open biblical chat because there was so much to bring up. There's so much I want to talk about. There's so much in my head. So yeah. So you out there watching, you my favorite viewers, and we've got a few out there. Feel free to hit that link and come on in. You have a problem with the Bible? Come on in. Yeah, we'd love to talk about it. It's we're not here to convert anybody either, but we don't mind a challenge. So, and we're not rabbis here. We're not paskining. We're all three monotheists, all former Christians, but we're not Jews. And I'll say this once: if you want to learn Torah, go to the Jewish people. A lot of rabbis will disagree. I don't. When Noahis begin to teach each other, it can get kind of crazy because we're a crazy bunch.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I'm not the same man I was 10 years ago, and I hope that we're not teaching here, but we do like to discuss basically anything biblical, but that's just about anything in the world today you can relate back to the Creator and whatnot. So that's what's new here. That's what's going on here. Not sure I like America getting involved in the war over there. I'm not real sure that I liked, the United States giving Iran billions upon billions of dollars because all that Iran wants to do is kill all the Jews. Meanwhile, there's a whole bunch of other Muslim countries that wouldn't mind doing business and having some nice relations. I hear the Prince of Saudi is about to accept Israel as a state. So that should tell you something right there, where things are going in the world. I think people are sick of the wars. I think people are getting real sick of them. There aren't as many as there used to be, which is interesting.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm okay with that too. It's about time. About time, definitely. So let's see. Let me go back here to the beginning. We'll get some Parsha study out of the way, and we'll get some half Torah reading, and then we'll move finally onto YouTube or onto Rumble and get into some deeper stuff there. By the way, I looked it up. It turns out that a shekel, when you hear about the shekel in the Bible, the holy shekel, it's a little over half an ounce of gold's worth. That's what the shekel is. So when you hear about, because you can't count heads, you can only count a half a shekel or a shekel. You can count money, but you can't count people. It's bad to count heads. So to stop that curse from being on the people, they take a census by everybody who walks by and drops half a shekel in a bowl, and that's counted rather than counting the actual people. And when you hear about how many shekels it took to build this or whatnot, it's about 22 grains, English grains they call it, if you want to look at the Western what we're using. So I just found that out. I looked it up finally. I never got it, but I looked up. I had to use great wording. When you get the right wording, you can get the right answer.
Right.
But every bit that was in the Mishkan is like accounted for. Who did it? How they did it? Let's see. I'm not sure.
I thought it was cool that they melted down the money to make the hooks and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All of it came from the people. The people contributed. The people threw in their gold. They threw in the silver and copper. Those are the three metals.
Yep.
But any kind of dyes or dyed clothing, ram skins, which they dyed. All of this was made. It was money, and it was earrings and jewelry.
Yep.
A lot of Egyptian.
And I think that was a sin. I think it was a sin. Was it the sin offering to make the hooks and all that too? Did I read that wrong last week? I can't remember. But it got everybody. They used them to make the hooks and the eyes and all this for the curtains and everything.
Yeah, that was after the golden calf incident.
Mm-hmm.
So would this be happening when after the second time he brought the tablets down? I'm wondering.
Mm-hmm.
It's not in chronological order. We never know.
Mm-hmm.
But this is after, they needed a golden calf. They needed something there. Well, they felt they needed something there, like the presence of God wasn't enough. And so I think that this was kind of like the I want to say a replacement for a golden calf. That's a stupid thing to say, but it was something that everybody chipped into, that was made from scratch. It was, everybody contributed to it. It's there for everybody at the same time. It is the focal point of the nation at this point. If you know what I mean, it's of course it's got to facilitate offerings and whatnot. There's the altar in there. prophecy happens on the ark, so or above the ark, in the tent. So it's the real deal. Instead of having an engraven image, you have something a bit different. It's a teaching tool in and of itself. So
Okay, the copper was a wave offering, or at least that's what I'm getting in verse 29.
Oh,
because it says the copper of the waving was 70 talents and 2,400 shekels.
copper of the wave. So it was a wave offering. Is it the same thing Kabad guys do with the chicken? Is that a wave offering?
Pretty much.
Okay. I've never made an offering yet, so I know one guy who did. My offering is to human beings. So, to the Haftorah. What do we got for Haftorah today? That's First Kings chapter 7. Before we do anything, I have to set something up because I have. Once again, I'm late getting here. So
meme of the week.
I didn't get to do the meme of the week. So I got to get us some good memes here. Hang on a second. We got to get the good stuff. Okay, I'm just going to put this up there. This is not exactly a kosher meme. It's not it's not necessarily related to what we're doing here, but
right. Yes.
I am not a fan at all of daylight savings time. I think it's stupid. I think it makes people stupid and they go along with it. Here's to Arizona for that. And of course, I thought this was kind of cute too.
Right.
Sorry, guys. There's one God. There's always been just one, just the one. And let me see if I had another one here that was fairly dank, but I don't want to get offensive. But oh well, what the heck? No, we won't do that one. It's a family show. I guess some great dank memes.
Save it for the Rumble part. Save it.
We'll show it to the Rumble party.
Even then, I'm gonna get in trouble. Okay, here it is. All right. You got these people that are wearing them now in solidarity. Right. It's like you're not even Muslim, you don't understand. And but I'm in solidarity with a bunch of people who kidnap.
I can't wait for the Muslims to turn around and start backing them up.
Queers for Palestine. That's my thing,
Oh yeah. Well,
LGBTQ for Palestine. Yeah.
This makes about as much sense right here.
Mm-hmm.
Jews against Jews. Jews against Israel. We can't do it. We have to be runts. We have to keep being runts. We can't.
God.
I'm sorry.
The funny thing about it is, though, every Orthodox movement, whatever you want to call it, Orthodox. The term Orthodox is actually kind of like it was what the Reform movement of Germany would call people who were religious. They call them Orthodox. That's actually where the term comes from. Mm-hmm. But I guess people sometimes you adopt something that someone else comes up with that makes sense. Same thing with like chapters and verses. Like there's nowhere in the Torah there's no chapters and verses, but the Jewish people kind of adopted the chapters and verses. It makes sense. Sometimes Goyim got a good point. But the thing about that is, though, is every Orthodox Jewish movement is anti-Zionist. The Bel Shem Tov warned against Zionism. Rabbi Lundy, the first Chabad rabbi, he was very anti-Zionist. Actually, all the rabbis of Chabad were anti-Zionist. Even the current rabbi, Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson, he was anti-Zionist. He in no way supported the current state of Israel. It goes against Torah because the current state of Israel is a secular they're Bolsheviks. I mean, that's what it is. It's a client state of Soviet Russia. They were a bunch of atheist Jews. You had in order to get. They used to give when Israel was founded. In order to get work, you had to get like a paper, right? Something. What they call it, a stipend or whatever the hell it was called. And you had to work on Shabbos. You had to violate Shabbos. They would feed you pork. So it isn't clearly not Israel is clearly not. Now you could say today, things have changed, things are better, but no one's ever, no one's gonna make. I don't know what I'm saying. It's just, I guess it's an easy shot. I guess going after the Sotmore is an easy shot because, people. They walk around with that thing, that on their thing it says "I love Palestine," and they kind of take it a little bit too far, if you ask me. I mean, it's one thing to be anti-Zionist, and it's another thing to be like pro your own death. You know what I'm saying? It's like a cow saying he loves McDonald's hamburgers. It's just it's a little goofy, right? It's a little. Not to say cows can't be pro McDonald's. It's just like, hey, you understand that they're making the burgers out of your brothers. You understand that, right? But yeah, I mean, it's an easy shot. But I guess to stick up for them a little bit, I had to give them a shout out. I had to give them a little love. But I mean, James got his name down there. What does it say? All American Religious Zionists. That's like a term now, James. That's like a big thing now. American Zionists, that's like a big thing now.
It is.
Yeah, yeah. You got people like Ted Cruz calling himself a Zionist.
Oh, brother.
Yeah, but so did Biden. So, creepy.
Yeah, well, Biden, yeah. Biden.
Take a shower.
You want to talk about anti-Semite, really. So I always come in here and I come in political and I try to be quiet because you were doing the religious thing. But have you been keeping up with Rabbi Shmuley Boteach and Candace Owens?
I have not.
Rabbi Shmuley Boteach is just hateful, and he's going hardcore on Candace Owens. He wants Candace Owens fired, censored, deplatformed, bankrupt. He's saying things like, I think banks should shut her bank account down and take all her money, and she should be homeless, and her house should be foreclosed. He's like really nasty, and she's been jabbing at him because I agree with Candace. Rabbi's daughter is a
Ain't nobody gonna do anything to her because she's too far involved in Notre Dame. She's Notre Dame alumni. Ain't nothing gonna happen to her.
Who's a Notre
Candace
Dame?
Owens. Ain't nobody gonna harm her.
Oh, I guess I don't know exactly what that means. Notre Dame, no one's gonna hurt it, but I guess
she's Notre Dame alumni. Nobody's gonna mess with her.
She's got gang backing, is what you're saying. Okay, I get you.
So what are they?
Okay, let me finish my point.
Yeah.
Anyway, Rabbi's daughter is. I don't know. The way I'll just say what Candace says. She's a hag, and not only is she a hag, but she sells smut. She sells disgusting, and they call it. They have a company called Kosher Sex, and they sell all types of pornographic smut. It's all dildos and all. You want to talk about family friendly show? That went out of the window. I'm sorry, I apologize. But anyway, so Candace Owens said that what is a rabbi doing promoting porn and smut? That's not something a religious guy. And I agree. What is the? I mean, come on, that's low hanging fruit. How could you? But I mean, he's just going. He lost his mind. And Cohen, and not only that, I mean, the rabbi slandering her, saying that she's a Holocaust denier, she's anti-Semite, she hates Jews. She's never said anything nasty about Jews. She's never said anything hate because she thinks a rabbi shouldn't sell porn and smut, that somehow she's an anti-Semite. Come on, this is the problem with the Jewish people. Sometimes it's like. You're your own worst enemy here. I mean, you're gonna start calling people anti-Semite because common sense here. If a Catholic priest was selling dildos on the website or a minister, you wouldn't. That would be a normal thing. Hey, we're going to go to church. Call a spade for guys. Right. You want a face palm here.
Right.
It's something, but I guess you haven't keep up with it. But the drama is right for the picking here, James. And it's lulls for days. I mean, I felt bad for Candace, and I also feel bad for the rabbi that he's losing his mind. But it's just silliness. I mean, we're fighting over the wrong things. We're arguing people for the wrong things. You got Candace Owens is one of the biggest allies to the Jewish people.
I know.
I mean, okay, she didn't. The rabbi says, "Well, how come she didn't come out against Kanye West when he went on his little mental episode there?" But anyone who knows the backstory, again, a Jewish banker was going after Kanye. He was trying to shut his business down, trying to destroy his livelihood. So he made a tweet saying, "I'm going to go crazy on these MFing Jews." Okay, it's he didn't say politically correct, but I would be mad too if a Jewish banker was trying to destroy my life. This is talking about the worst enemy. Your own worst enemy. You want to talk about stereotype? A Jewish banker trying to destroy Gentiles? I mean, come on. I mean, the memes. You want to talk about memes in this? You want to talk about memes? I mean, a Jewish banker trying to destroy Goyim. I mean, come on. It doesn't make any sense here, guys. I mean, I wish I could talk to these people and I would love to sit down with Rabbi Boteach and think about and ask them, what's going on in your mind,
That's so it's his daughter who does this, not or him. This rabbi
he's like the manager. He promotes it.
It's supposed to be kosher. All this is kosher kink, supposedly, or
kosher kink.
Allegedly, yeah.
I was asked to explain kosher. There's a group called Kosher Memes, which is a lot of it's not always kosher memes. It's like I don't understand what kosher is. It's never in the Bible. I can't find it in the Bible. It's like, okay, kosher actually refers to food, how you treat your animals, how you prepare your animals, how you kill them, how you raise them, along with fruit. You don't graft fruit trees. You don't graft vine to a tree. And she wasn't getting that. It's like that's what kosher is. It's kashrut's the actual word, but there's a proper treatment, and it's plainly laid out there. It's just like you don't have a list. We say kosher,
And there's different types of kosher. There's Bet Yosef. There's Glatt. Ashkenazim will go by Glatt. Sephardic Jews will go by Bet Yosef. I mean,
mostly the same.
Mostly the same, yeah.
Yeah, the Jews are always their worst enemy on this. I mean, my friends in Israel are saying that that October 7th was planned way in advance. It could quite possibly have been an inside job, meaning that there's somebody in the inside who helped facilitate it. They set up that goofy dance, Burning Man BS, whatever they were doing out there in the desert, right next to the Gazan border.
Yeah, allegedly, even Egypt was like sending messages to Israel saying, "Hey, terrorists are planning to attack. Watch out, beef up security." Allegedly, someone shut off the alarms. Apparently, someone in the tower was calling for help, saying that people were dying, but somehow the telecommunications were down somehow. That I heard too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's that's going to come to a head. You just wait right there.
Yeah.
It all comes down to are you keeping the Torah or are you not? I mean, as far as the Jewish banker goes, I get it, but you're not supposed to be bankers. You're supposed to be doing other things. You're not supposed to be selling sex stuff. You can teach, what is, the proper sexual behavior. I don't think you should be doing that right now. I'm not sure if that's actually a light to the nations.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's not. I mean,
Hollywood. it's not. You're not. I mean, it's
No.
you need to go home. You go back to God. You know, you need to go back to Hashem and fulfill your true purpose. Now's the time to do it, man. We are in a changing world.
Yeah. Things are getting, things are coming to a head. You could definitely feel it. You could definitely sense it. I feel it in my bones. That's for sure. We'll see what happens. We'll see where it goes. Yeah, I don't know. I think, is it strictly against? I mean, obviously, people will say, God made sex for pleasure. There's nothing wrong about having, kosher relations. God wants you to reproduce. God wants you to man and a woman to come together.
Yeah, but there's a big thing against wasting seed, though.
Wasted seed, yeah.
You can wear a condom, though.
I mean, that's more of a Christian thing than a Jewish thing.
Apparently,
still,
condoms are allowed. So, I mean, is condom spilling seed? So, I wondered about that for a while. But if condoms are allowed, if there's nothing out pulling out, there could be a problem. But like if you use a condom, if she takes a pill, then it's different. But particularly the condom, is it wasting? But I think it's more like keep happiness in the house. You want to be active with your wife. You want to make her happy. You need to do what you got to do. I think if you're married and you're not causing physical harm to each other or using animals or whatever, you could probably do whatever you want. That's just me. I haven't looked into it. There's a book called Kosher Sex. I am tempted to get that. That's a Rumble only book right there, I can tell you.
Oh, no kidding. No kidding.
That might be by Rabbi Shmuley Botea. That might be a book he wrote.
Let me look it up. Let's check it out here. A Recipe for Passion and Intimacy by Shmuley Botea.
Yeah.
There you go.
No.
Oh,
things come full circle. There you go.
And they get toys. Okay.
So you know what I'm talking about. Now you're familiar with what we're talking
yeah.
about.
Oh yeah.
But now if it's like, should a rabbi be doing this? I mean, optics. They say optics is it's bad optics. There's a word for that. Bad optics. If a Christian preacher was doing this, if a Catholic preacher was doing it, people would call it out and no one would say anything.
Maybe instead of getting angry, he should have opened up a class or invited her to a class to explain himself to her. I mean,
Right.
Okay, you know what I mean? I mean, you can get mad and go after her, but she's asking a legitimate question that, a lot of the world would look weird at, like optics. You just said it. I don't know. I can't be mad at Candace for that. I know a couple of my Jewish friends are mad at her too. I've yet to hear what Tucker as well. I have yet to hear either of them trash Israel or anything like that. That's a new one on me. I'm gonna have to go check that out. So Shmuley, okay, so that's the same rabbi who wrote Kosher Sex. We need to talk about it. I mean, we don't really do it much. I mean, unless you're going to let the school start doing it, and now we know kind of people are teaching it in American schools nowadays.
Yeah.
I mean, my daughter's going to turn 12 in a couple of months, so I have no idea how to talk to her about it, let alone how to talk to mom about it. Because I'm like, I want to teach her karate. So the moment a guy lays a hand on her, he can, she can break his finger or poke his eye out or something. That's
right.
how I want it. That's what I want to. That's where I'm at with. How do you want to raise your daughter with what? In this world, I want to teach her karate. I want to teach her martial arts. Take down those guys. We can't really homeschool. So yeah, she's in public school, so we just got to work with it. I think it's a good place, but you know how it is. You're not going to get any of those books in there, the genderqueer books. So that's a good thing. But you got to learn. We got to learn. It's one of our biggest weaknesses in America. I mean, just look at now. Just look at a pride parade. That's not dignified or civilized in any way, shape, or form.
No, it's not.
You know, drag queen story hour. That is not in any way civilized or decent. I actually heard that, like,
It's
in places
not
like Iraq and in Muslim countries, they do the transgender thing. They don't mind it because it sterilizes them. And it's like, well, good. They won't. We don't have to kill them, basically. Straight up. So they just they'll sterilize them. That's all because we're not right up here sexually. Good gravy. I had no idea Candace Owens. So I'm thinking about it, optics, but at the same time, he could have told her something. He could have taught her something. He could have brought her onto a show. He could have explained, why God wants you to, you take care of your wife, especially on Friday nights. Go for it. And yet, there's a right way to do it and the right way to treat her, right way for her to treat him. We could use a little of that. We could use a little old-fashioned. I know that I was a bit of a flake in my early years, and I was too stupid to know when a girl was hitting on me. Okay, so I didn't really get anywhere, but I was an idiot. If I would have known then what I know now, you could have had that girl. All you had to do was get serious and marry her. Wow, I remember her. She was really, she really liked you. What do you do? And so you flaked off. If you were a real man, you'd have married her. And now they don't even want to marry. Now, apparently Gen Y is like, ew. Yeah, I'll marry when I'm like 40 or 50 and ready to settle down and stuff. But I want to have kids. I'm worth it. I'm worth being single. I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it to be single. I don't know if it's worth it.
Yeah, I think the marriage rate and the reproduction rate is the worst. I think Japan is like, out of all of the countries in the world, I think Japan is like the worst, and like Netherlands and Brussels and Germany, they're all like the average family has one kid. So it's like, in 20 years, your population is going to be dropping in half, and who's going to take care of all the old people? You're not going to have any workers. You need at least 2 kids just to keep the population steady. Right? So you need 3 to at least grow it. So if you're having 1 kid per generation, I mean, that's, and you got people like Elon Musk who's red-pilled about it. And he's like, he's the only one saying anything about it. The world's not overpopulated, but there is enough resources, because that's what we're taught. Oh, the world's overpopulated. We can't have it. We need less people in the world. No, you actually need more people in the world. How do you think you're gonna? You think you're gonna? You think you're gonna colonize the Mars and colonize the moon without a population? If Earth is going down in population, how are you going to get to Mars? And Elon Musk is talking about, in 2030, we're going to have colonies on Mars. You see that happening, James? You see in 6 years a colony on Mars? I mean, we can't even get Ukraine to capitulate to a half a mile of land in the middle of Europe. How the hell are we going to get land? How are we going to be on Mars? I don't know. You got Haiti cannibals running around in Haiti, eating each other. I don't see 6 years. You're telling me 6 years from now,
I have a hard time believing we landed on the moon. So, where I stand on that one. It's a lofty, nice idea maybe to sell people, but I think the Star Trek thing's kind of going by the wayside. We've kind of passed that. Dreamy. We got to get real. What does God say? Be fruitful and multiply. Sometimes you can't multiply. Let, like it says in Isaiah, let not the eunuch feel like he can't come to the Lord's house. But you can be fruitful. You can be fruitful in the world. You can make something of the world. You can leave more than you left, or you can leave more than you take. You can do better. You can, but he says, fill the earth. So anybody who's Christian or Jewish, if you listen to what God said, he says flat out, be fruitful and multiply. Fill the earth is what he says. Fill the earth. The earth will provide. The earth always provides. Colonizing Mars. He's so brilliant in so many ideas, and then it's like, okay, chips in the brain and colonizing Mars. I'm like, what?
Stephen Rachel, he says, moon landing, LOL, LOL, LOL. The Van Halen belt's what got me. Okay, there you go.
Yeah. Going through it, and it was all done on film. Okay, it was all film, and film is rather sensitive to radiation inside the Van Allen belt. An X-ray machine will kill that stuff. Now imagine going out it where you're bombarded with nothing but. You know what got me? Let me get where in the comments. I hadn't.
The cellophane.
Let me get your name again. Was that Stephen? Yeah. You know what got me, Stephen, was was oxygen. Where's the oxygen go? Look at the Moonlander. Look at the technology they released a couple of years ago. They released like 40, 41, 42 different schematics for the Moonlander. Oxygen. One tank of scuba in that year, in that time, lasted 1 hour. All the oxygen that was on that was liquid oxygen to feed the fuel cells. Now, how could they keep liquid oxygen stable in a 250 degree surface, which is what the moon's surface is? It's 250 degrees at all times while the sun's on it anyway. So how do you keep that environment? Oh, well, in the shadow, you don't. I mean, yes, that heat will radiate out. Yes, I'm sorry. It's not just, oh, well, it was in the shadow. It had that aluminum foil around it to protect it. It's like, that's not how it works. So, where's the oxygen come from to last them 23 hours alone in that lander, let alone the big one? Where's the oxygen that lasts them all that time? Where was it stowed? How could they keep the liquid oxygen cool with, without a carburetor to run an engine for how did they keep that cool with 1968 technology on the surface of 250 degrees? I'm not buying it. Not buying it. Not buying any of it. I think I think everything. UFOs. Remember 2 years ago when Russia collusion, Russia was involved, and then suddenly it was the Cold War because we had Russia and UFOs. And what's come out of it? Not a damn thing. Nothing. It's a religion. It's another religion. Like environmentalism is Gaia worship. It's the same thing. So it move a little furniture around a little bit and not have to be so theatrical with how you present it, but it's the same thing. I think the aliens, the whole notion of them. I've seen weird stuff in the sky myself. I just don't buy it. I don't buy it at all. I don't think we went. I think it was a hoax. I think it was a joke. Japan apparently Japan or China apparently had an orbit around the moon and took a picture of the Earth. And again, not one star in the sky. We can excuse seeing no stars when we have a haze and we have a lot of humidity in our air. We won't see a lot of stars, light pollution. That's only because it's reflecting off the atmosphere itself. When you have no atmosphere, you would have something back there. There's, again, no stars. If you get a telescope and you zoom in on a dark part of the moon, you'll see stars behind it with a telescope from Earth. But you're in space and don't pick up any stars because the Earth was too bright.
No
physics. So yeah, I'm not. I used to have pictures of the space shuttle on my wall. I was very into NASA, very into space exploration, and now I think it's an absolute waste of time. Our heads in the clouds. We need to get back down here on Earth. We need to get back to nature. We need to start teaching people how to garden again. Little things like that. I don't know. There's my rant. Anyway.
No, that's good.
This
Good,
is our
good topic, Stephen. Thank you. We got 12 people watching us today, James.
That's okay. It's pretty much open biblical chat. And false religion would be a biblical topic, so you can do it. But we do
I always derail the conversation myself, so you know.
We usually do a Haftorah reading before we move over to Rumble.
Okay.
So got my readers. We're in 1 Kings, chapter 7. I remember the Haftorah reading is a section of the Hebrew Bible that, boy, that article. I should have brought that up and studied it before here.
It's literally half the Torah. That's why we call it Haftorah.
There was a time when people weren't allowed to read Torah because that was the power of the Jews. So when they would get subjugated, quite often they would not allow them to teach Torah openly. But they could teach parts of the Hebrew Bible that directly pertained to the Torah, not being from Torah. And it's all throughout the prophets and whatnot. So they would teach the principles of Torah via the prophets. So we have the Haftorah, which is a nice summation, and I enjoy it. So we'll do this real quick, and then we'll move over to Rumble, and then we can get crazy. So we'll start 1 Kings chapter 7, verse 51, and then 1 Kings chapter 8. We'll do verse 1, and it goes down to 21. Again, the link is in the description. You'll see a link to Chabad. You just go there, and it'll say learning, and you'll see first reading, second reading, third reading. At the end of at the top of the list, it'll say Haftorah. And click on that, and that's where we're at if you're not following along on your own Bible at home. Here we go. And the work that King Saul, and so we studied, we got the receipts, so we know everything that went into making the Mishkan and how much of each it was, particularly silver, gold, and copper. So that's where we're at. Solomon, temple, here we go. And all the work that King Solomon had wrought in the house of the Lord was finished. And Solomon brought in the rings which David his father had dedicated, the silver and the gold and the vessels, and put them in the treasuries of the house of the Lord. Solomon assembled the elders of Israel and all the heads of the tribes, the princes of the fathers' houses of the children of Israel, unto King Solomon in Jerusalem, to bring up the ark of the covenant of the Lord out of the city of David, which is Zion. And the men of Israel assembled themselves into King Solomon at the feast in the month of Ethanim, which is the 7th month. And all the leaders of Israel came, and the priests took up the ark, and they brought the ark. They brought up the ark of the Lord and the tabernacle of meeting, and all the holy vessels which were in the tabernacle, and the priests and the Levites did bring them up. And King Solomon and all the congregation of Israel that were assembled unto him were with him before the ark, sacrificing sheep and oxen that could not be counted nor numbered for multitude. And the priests brought in the ark of the covenant of the Lord to its place into the sanctuary of the house, the most holy place, under the wings of the cherubim. For the cherubim spread forth their wings over the place of the ark, and the cherubim covered the ark and the staves thereof above. And the staves were so long that the ends of the staves were seen from the holy place before the sanctuary, and they were not seen without. And they were there unto this day, which would be the day it was written, of course. There was nothing in the ark save 2 tablets of stone which Moses put there at Horeb, when the Lord made a covenant with the children of Israel when they came out of the land of Egypt. And it came to pass, when the priests come out of the holy place, and the cloud filled the house of the Lord, and the priests could not stand to minister because of the cloud, for the glory of the Lord filled the house of the Lord. Then Solomon said, the Lord said that he would dwell in the thick darkness. I have surely built you a house to dwell in, the place settled for you to dwell in forever. And the king turned his face about and blessed all the congregation of Israel, and all the congregation of Israel stood. And he said, blessed be the Lord, the God of Israel, who spoke with his mouth unto David my father, and has fulfilled it with his hand, saying, since the day that I brought forth my people Israel out of Egypt, I chose a city out of all the tribes of Israel to build a house, that my name might be therein, but I chose David to be over my people Israel. And it was in the heart of David my father to build a house for the name of the Lord, the God of Israel. And the Lord said to David my father, since it was in your heart to build a house unto my name, you did well that it was in your heart. Nevertheless, you shall not build the house, but your son that shall come forth out of your loins, he shall build the house for my name. And the Lord has established his word that he spoke, and I have risen up to the place of David my father, and sit on the throne of Israel as the Lord spoke, and have built a house for the name of the Lord, the God of Israel. And I have set there a place for the ark, wherein is the covenant of the Lord, which he made with our fathers when he brought them out of the land of Egypt.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Moses gave a blessing to the children of Israel. They came up and they brought up everything that they'd constructed, that they'd made, that they'd fashioned for the tabernacle, and lo, Moses saw that they did what God had done. And it was just a moment in the reading this week that it almost like, wow, Moses, you did something right. It was like, wow, y'all did it. So that ends the Haftorah reading for this week. And we're going to get on over to Rumble exclusively now. We're going to leave YouTube. Folks watching over there, we've got a whole vast amount of hangouts that we have there, just that we've done over the years with a lot of different kinds of people and from all walks of life. And would love to see you here as well. But right now, I suggest you head on over to Rumble right now, because we're going to end the YouTube stream now. Until then, we'll see y'all on the flip side.